All right, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit more about this protest of a thing. There are travel warnings being issued for Nigeria, even from the US, I think from Canada, from UK. There's a special report somewhere here. It says United States, United Kingdom, and Canada issued travel warnings for Nigeria ahead of planned protests over economic hardship and rising costs. The UK Foreign Office said there was a risk of unrest from July 29 through August 10th and noted that past protests have turned violent with little warning. The Canadian government also warned that the protests would turn violent at any time. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Abuja advised American citizens to avoid crowds and demonstrations. Why are Nigerians protesting? Nigeria is experiencing its worst cost of living crisis in a generation. In June, inflation hit a record high of 34.19%, while food inflation rose to more than 40.87%, according to Nigeria's National Bureau of Statistics. Activists have called for 10 days of protest nationwide to begin on Thursday under the banner hashtag End Bad Governance. I know you've mentioned in this particular episode of the Sharp Edge News TV uh, live about the protest. Can you
Yes,
give us yeah, tell us what's going on. Hashtag end bad governance. They are asking for who is organizing it. The DSS or DDS or SSS, what they call them, DSS. They are asking for who is organizing it. So there are parts of
why
people that
why
you
should
would
they be
expect.
why would they be asking such I mean that kind of question? Why? And the DSS is adopting the operational mode of the Gestapo, almost behaving like a KGB, the ruthless KGB in Russia, and the minders of Kim Jong Un in North Korea, or what you find in China, the one that led to the massacre of youth protesting in places like Red Square and uh, all the troubled spots of the world. For example, apart from what all these uh, intelligence chiefs are saying, I've even seen some media managers and senior editors in Nigeria who come on national television to insult the collective intelligence of our citizens. That what I mean, the youth are planning, what Nigerian folks are planning in terms of peaceful protests will not happen in Rwanda. I mean, Kigami's Rwanda. That you dare not get. It's a subtle way of suggesting to the government to become so dastardly and um, draconian. I do not know what has come upon some journalists in Nigeria these days. People who were, I mean, who were heroes of this, I mean, the return to democracy in Nigeria. Now they have turned to something else. They cannot even be trusted with the sacred mandate of keeping power in trust on behalf of the people. So, what is going on with this is that nobody is faceless. For example, I'm here because of the attitude of the Nigerian government. Now, I'm even cautious on how I send financial support to my folks in Nigeria because before you know it, you are tagged and you are mischaracterized as somebody who is funding restless, I mean, what's it called, unrest in Nigeria. This is where these people are taking us. And if anybody is going to be in denial about the state of the Nigerian economy, that would be a shameful thing. That would be an irresponsible thing. I'm supposed to be a legally blind man. I mean, in Nigeria, most blind people walk the streets carrying balls, begging for alms, and what have you. Here, I live here. Even as a blind man, I know from the beginning of this month to where we stand today, I've sent in support more than 1 million naira to folks in Nigeria. And to think that I was not even, or people like me or you, were not, we were not responsible for bringing the present government into office. But now that the users are coming out of the entire situation, that hunger is in the land, where do our people resort to? They make endless calls to folks like you and I overseas. And when we try to even talk, they try to label us agents of foreign governments, which is the irresponsible reaction, the reactionary attitude of the government of the day in Nigeria. They have looked for reasons, sponsors of this protest, as if they don't even read, as if they don't make research. The blind them, the good lady, the distinguished senator, a blind woman in Kenya the other day, challenged the reasoning, the critical thinking process of the government, the people in government in Kenya. She said, "Oh, you are looking to track the sponsors of the protests in Kenya. You won't find any. The people, what's it called? The issues sponsoring, triggering all these things will be hunger in the land, unemployment, the troubled times in which we live, kidnapping, Boko Haram. People like the Olori in my own kingdom in Ondo State, that kind of ineptitude, the misconduct, abuse of office, the attitude of people like Yesi Wike, who would dress in 400,000 fedora hat, wearing super designer wear to taunt Nigerians, who would be advised, to spend the people's money responsibly, and then would tell a sitting senator to go and hug the transformer. People like Akpabio, the Senate president in Nigeria, that would talk down in a condescending way on a female senator. Oh, this is not a clubhouse. You know, that attitude that shows that these people do not care, laissez-faire, and then they can spend money. They don't even patronize the vehicles that are made by innocent in Nigeria, homegrown goods. They have this insatiable taste and greed for foreign products. And then look at what they have turned university female students to in Nigeria. Like people that provide escort services. Is that where Nigeria should be? And then look at the steady decline. We have described that of oil sector in Nigeria. Look at where Nigeria is. The largest economy in Africa before now has now become the 6th largest economy. And the downward spiral continues. These are the things stoking it. And so if these various embassies and foreign missions in Nigeria are cautioning on where people should go, I do not also think that that is good enough, because some of them gave this ill-timed and wrong-headed advice to the government of Nigeria, the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF, World Bank, the International Financial Corporation, all of them. They do not know, they do not know, or they pretend about the panaceas, the things they recommend for African, the solutions to African unique economic situations. And then they fail to address the greed of the contemporary African elected leaders. Nobody is talking about that. Nobody is talking about the jumbo pay for senators and what have you. The one that I do not seem to agree with is the call for Tinubu to resign. No, I may not agree with that, but then it's a call. They should sit down with the planners, but to begin to want to use Gestapo approach, want to elect class captains, come and put down the names of people who are stoking trouble with them. What nonsense is that? That's not how to govern a nation. Tinubu should free himself from all this. The other day, Ndume said he's been held hostage. That is an hostage of power. They moved against Ndume. There have been times when I did not approve of the tactics of Ndume. But in this instance, Udume was cautioning them that this man has become an hostage of certain individuals in the villa. What was the reaction? They removed him as the minority Senate, what's it called? As the chief whip of the Senate. That shouldn't have been the reaction. Now, Nigerians are saying they want to go on the street. They started organizing all kinds of irresponsible reactionary elements to come on the stage to denounce, to reject, to distance themselves from the protest. Would that stop whatever is going on? I suspect this is a government that is preparing and getting excited to kill and shed blood, to kill innocent citizens. Look at Nance. Nance. Nance is dissociating itself from the troubles of Nigerian citizens. Anyway, Nance is no longer what it used to be. And all these people that got elected into the leadership of Nance, someday there will be moments of accountability, but the government must provide protection for the peaceful protesters. We knew and we documented effectively and into details what happened during the NSAS thing, how elements, ethnic jingoists, were recruited to counter protesters at Akpo village, and how they destroyed businesses owned by individuals from other parts of Nigeria. They almost fostered a civil war in Nigeria during the NSAS thing. In Lagos as well. And look at the so-called Iyaloja General of Lagos, Tinubu's daughter. The father was elected president. Which one is our own? Now she started putting her mouth in businesses that do not concern her. And she was granted free access to the use of Eagle Square. And now they are saying the Take It Back group and any other person coming to Eagle Square should come and pay.
She's the princess.
When some of us were in Abuja, hot sun,
she's the princess.
baking sun. You said what?
You said we was our own. I said she's the princess. I was asking
princess of what? Is it supposed to be an imperial presidency? Is Tinubu an elected Kabiyesi, for God's sake? What is this sense of entitlement? They are just rubbishing the sophistication of the Nigerian presidency. All of them talk at the same time. It's either Sheyi is talking, it's either Oluomo is talking, and all of them. Tinubu is the one that is elected into office. And this rubbish about Yoruba presidency, this and that. It is Nigerian presidency. The man belongs to all of us. They should stop trying to diminish his, what's it called? His reach. They should stop doing this nonsense. And these people must be protected. And the world must watch. America, Canada, and Great Britain, all the international communities, countries of the world should not just issue advisory saying their citizens must be careful. They should also begin to keep a list of Nigerian principal actors. If they kill Nigerian citizens during this protest, the international community must hold them responsible. They did it the other time during the NSAS. They got away with it. Nobody must get away with the killing of innocent Nigerian or Nigerians now. Nobody. So, if Nigeria must be a true democracy, that right, the right to dissent, the right to peaceful protest must be protected. It must be, it is guaranteed already in the Constitution. It must be protected. They don't even need to apply to the police to get this done. Just that everything must be peaceful. All of them doing this. I was there as a reporter the day, what's his name? Adams Oshomole, the former chairman of APC, former governor of Edo State, former, now a member of the Senate. I was there when he was leading Labour Congress as he climbed on the bonnet of the car of Benmore Bruce, and he bruised that man as the Director General of NTA, asking him, you are asking for Nigeria Labour Congress to come and pay before the advert can be run. How much did you collect from the presidency before you ran their own advert? The same elements are running Nigeria today. You see the moral hypocrisy in all these people.
Hypocrisy, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
moral hypocrisy. And
yeah.
this is why Nigerians continue to hold them to account. But this is about the character of each of us. If I were in Tinubu's position, I would even match with them. I would match. Didn't you see Joe Biden marching alongside the auto workers the other day in America? Did you not see Joe Biden doing it? Joe Biden worked with auto workers when they went on strike. Vice President Harris too was there. It was only Donald Trump that started condemning the whole thing. Because these people are anti-union, they are anti-freedom. And who is anybody to want to hold in bondage somebody that God has already given freedom? So Nigerians are liberated souls, and they have the right to march and demand that they should be given good government.
So, just to leave us with this, just FYI, because there's a lot of questions around. We don't know who is organizing it. Even honestly, the Honorable San Femi Falana was asking that question on one of the shows too, right? The protests have been, according to this report on DW.com, the protests have been organized by a broad coalition of civil society groups.
Almost more than 26 of them.
Right. Both supporters and opponents of the protest have drawn comparison with recent protests in Kenya against the plan to raise taxes on essential goods. The Premium Times newspaper reported that some protesters have already begun blocking major roads in the capital on Monday. Now, police on alert. Authorities have urged young people to stay away from the protests. Police cracked down heavily on the last major protest, the End SARS demonstration in 2020. And I quote, while citizens have the right to peaceful protest, they do not have the right to mobilize for anarchy or unleash terror. That's the defense spokesperson,
So who defines
General
anarchy?
Buba. Them.
Those are extreme words from the defense spokesperson. You don't engage your citizens as if you are engaging I didn't see this kind of rhetoric from them the other day. The Nigerian military brats were intimidating Tinubu now. I didn't see them speak like this.
Yeah.
When you are engaging your citizens, you have to be extremely civil.
As your last word for today, what's your advice for the young people?
Yeah, my last word is this.
Protest.
My last word for today is that Tinubu should please extricate himself, distance himself from people who would want to deliberately mislead him and get his hand soaked in the blood of innocent citizens. And let us also caution, all eyes are on them, and all cameras must be active now. I suspect these people may want to shoot at somebody like Omoyele Sowore. They will want to shoot on the other active participants. God forbid that this thing that government will take any action that is so insensitive that ultimately would lead to unintended consequences. Something is called peaceful protest. Let it be peaceful and completely civil. Leave the youth alone to vent
them.
Yeah,
make sure it's safe for them to exercise their rights.
Enough of this bloodletting, enough of bloodshed in Nigeria. For goodness sake. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. We want to say thank you for being here to support today's show. Not to well done, I see you. Thank you. And shout out to Miss Elizabeth Omotayo. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.